I started off, as a bodybuilder, and after my last contests, then that's how I got into it.
Were you a fan of wrestling before you watched it, or?
I was a great fan of all kind of things, especially wrestling. That was my most important thing to do.
Right. Where did you grow up at? Where are you from?
I was born in the Fiji Islands. Then I was raised up in all around the Micronesian Islands, like the Gilbert Islands, the Marshall Islands, Ponape and Guam, and ended up in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Honolulu, Hawaii. When you got into the business around, what year was it, 1969, I believe?
Yes.
Who are some of the early guys that helped you get into the business? Like, who trained you?
There was a guy named from up in Canada. His name was Frankie Lane. Cowboy Frankie Lane.
That's from the Stu Hart territory, or is that separate?
I think that was separate.
That was separate.
I met him in Hawaii, and that's how it first started.
What was the training like when you first got into the business? Like, what were some of the things they made you do?
Learning how to take bumps, and learning how to, get holds like headlock, and stuff like that.
What were some of the early territories that you first got into when you first came into the business? What were some of the first promotions that you worked for?
First was Portland, Oregon. And from Portland, Oregon, I went up to Vancouver, BC, British Columbia. Went to San Francisco. From San Francisco back to Portland. And Portland, I went to Dallas, Texas. Wrestled down there for a while, and then came back to Portland again. Then I ended up in North Carolina. And from North Carolina, I was up there in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and all that.
For Vern?
Vern Gagne. And then from there, went back to Hawaii, wrestled in Hawaii a little bit, and I came back to North Carolina. From North Carolina, I ended up in New York City, the Big Apple.
What are your memories of working the Portland territory and Don Owens? What are your memories of Don Owens?
It was great. It was a great territory to wrestle at, beautiful country and everything.
Was Don Owens a pretty good promoter?
Yes, he was.
What are your memories of your series of matches with Rip Oliver, or I believe Ripper Owens?
Ripper Owens?
Yes.
It was very good. Very good. I enjoyed working with mostly all these guys.
Right. Memories of working with Jesse Ventura, because he was there at the time.
Oh, yes. He was great. He was a good man to wrestle with.
Was the travel pretty hard back then?
No, everything was close by. At the time we didn't have to fly much. We used to drive a lot, so we get to see the whole country and get to meet a lot of people, which is great.
Now, I believe Roddy Piper was working Portland at the same time you were there.
He came a little later. I left when he came in.
Okay. What are your memories of teaming with Dutch Savage?
It was great. It was very great. I enjoyed a lot of good times with him and had a lot of fun.
You also, I believe, worked with veterans like Carl von Steiger and Carl Krupp.
Oh, yes.
What were those guys like?
They were great people, brother. It was nice. It was a good old school, and you learned a lot from them.
Were any of the veterans try to stiff you or anything like that to try to teach you the business?
You learn a lot of things, up and downs and stuff, but it all worked out to be the best.
All right. Memories of working with Playboy Buddy Rose in the Portland territory.
It was great. It was fantastic. I had a lot of fun with them guys, brother.
What was he like outside the ring?
He was a good human being. He was a lot of fun.
Memories of working with the Iron Sheik.
Oh, great. He was a fantastic guy. Super guy to work with and a very nice-hearted man. He's a wonderful guy to be around with.
What was he like outside the ring? Was he pretty funny?
Oh, yes. Always making you laugh all the time, and it's fantastic.
Right. Now, did other promoters try to steal you away from Portland? Because I think you were with Portland for about 5 years.
Probably around 8 years, somewhere around there. But, yeah, you know, Don Owens didn't really want me to leave, but, you know, I had to move on and take the next step, you know.
Right. Now, what led you leaving and going to the Mid-Atlantic region? It was basically that time?
Yeah, yes.
What was Jim Crockett like?
Oh, he was great. I had a lot of fun with them brothers. Yeah, it was a good territory to, you know, to wrestle around and stuff.
Now, I think when you first came in, you worked with Buzz Sawyer and Matt Bourne.
Right.
Do you have any good stories on those guys?
Oh, yeah, them guys were terrific, you know. I mean, we were all young at the time, you know, and had a lot of fun, and it was great. It was great territory.
As far as Buzz Sawyer, what was he like outside the ring? We've heard a lot of stories about Buzz and his demons and stuff.
I don't know. I got along good with him. You know, I always have fun with everybody and, you know, share our couches with each other.
Right.
It was great.
What was the locker room like at the time?
Everything was a little uptight at the time, you know, but it's a lot different than what it is today. You know, them days we were a little bit more serious and, you know, more careful about our wrestling and stuff and how we presented it. But it was great. It was a lot of good experience.
Right. Who did you travel with at you know, back in those days?
Most of the time, you know, usually you like to travel by yourself, you know. I usually like to travel by myself because this way when you want to stop, you stop, and if you don't want, you just keep going. But, you know, I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
Memories of working with the sheep herders.
All the
Butch and Luke.
Butch and Luke, they were great. They're from down under, you know, and you know, it's always nice to be close to your neighbors and stuff. But they were fantastic guys, and they still are.
Did you travel with those guys at all, or just?
Yeah, once in a while we'll go together. All we do is just laugh, you
Right.
know, and talk about our countries and stuff.
Memories of working with Ricky Steamboat.
Oh, he was fantastic. He was a good guy.
You guys.
Nice guy to team up with, you know, and of course I worked against him and stuff, and it was very nice, brother. I really enjoyed that.
Now, I believe you had a series of matches with Ric Flair back in the Mid-Atlantic era.
Oh, yes.
With the U.S. title
You
being at
bet.
stake.
You bet.
What are your memories of some of those matches? Because they were great.
It was very stiff, you know, hard, and to me it was, that's the way it should be, you know. I mean, don't complain about things, you know. I mean, get in there and do your job and do it right. That's what it's all about.
You also teamed with Ric Flair too.
Yes.
What was that experience like, teaming with Ric?
It was great, you know. There was no hard feelings about anything. Everything was wide open, you know, and I like that. And that's the way it should always be.
Memories of teaming with Paul Orndorff.
Paul, he was another great guy. He just came out of playing football, I guess, for Miami, somewhere down there in Miami. Can't really remember.
I don't remember either.
Okay, so yeah, he just came in. When he came in there, we was in the Carolinas, and then he started to come in and start, you know, learning how to wrestle. And of course, he ended up with me, which was great. You know, he was a super guy, you know, and great talent, and he learned very quick.
Right. So he was pretty green at the time, and you guys were pretty responsible for training him.
Right.
How political was the decision to put the NWA World Tag Titles on you?
Brother, it was great. It was great because we were looking forward to, you know, something new each day, you know, and finally when we knew that this was going to come up, boy, we were really thrilled about it.
Right. Did you have to travel to other territories to defend the tag titles at all?
Yes, we did, you know, mostly all over.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember for what promotions? Or?
I think it's just like these different promoters up in Canada, you know, and all around, you know, the Carolinas and all that.
Harley Race, what was he like at the time? Because he was in the same territory.
Yeah, he was a great guy, you know.
Easy to work with?
Oh, yes. Very easy.
Blackjack Mulligan?
Oh, yeah. Them guys, they're all fantastic.
Wahoo McDaniel?
Yes.
Now, what was Dusty Rhodes like? Because he was in the territory. Did he ever come through as a champion when you were there?
Let me see. Yeah, I believe he did. I believe he did.
Now, they did an angle, I believe it was you and Greg Valentine. You guys all attacked Ric Flair, I believe, in the ring. He broke his nose or something like that. And with Gene Anderson.
Oh, yes.
What are your memories of that?
I think it was great, you know. It was fantastic with me because at the time, you know, I was babyface, and then I became a bad guy, which I loved the most, and it was fun, breaking Ric Flair's nose. It was a lot of fun.
What are your memories of working with Greg Valentine? Because you also worked against him as well at that time.
He's fantastic. They're all great people to work with, and like I said, it's always nice because everybody gets along with each other.
Ray Stevens, what was he like outside the ring?
He was fantastic. He was a ring general.
He was probably one of the best workers from what I understand.
You bet.
You guys also teamed with, actually you had some series with Ricky Steamboat and Jay Youngblood.
Yes, we did.
What are your memories of that?
It was great because them guys, they became a really good team. And then of course they were, wrestling myself and Ray Stevens. We were the guys that was there to really do some damage to anybody, and we loved it.
Now, you also, I guess, worked with Gene Anderson, who was there at the time.
Right.
What was he like?
Oh, he was great. He was a ringmaster. You bet.
How much of an emphasis back then was placed on work rate at this time?
Meaning
like going out there and having a good match and not going through the motions. I mean, was it pretty much important to you guys to go out there and have a good match?
Oh, yes. I mean, to me, that's the only way to go. I mean, you got to go out there and have a good time. You got to feel good and knowing what you're doing and, enjoying yourself.
Did holding titles back then mean anything to you, or did you just...
it was just like another trophy that you got to put away, brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever refuse to put you over back in those days, or no? Did you have any problems with anybody?
No, I don't think so, brother. Not at all.
Okay. Yeah. How did it come about that you left that territory and went over to Georgia?
Well, it's there's times that promoters want different guys to come, and they'll be talking to the promoters back and forth and see when they can release this guy at this time and stuff like that,
Right. Now, when you went to Georgia, I believe Ole Anderson was booking at the time, right?
Yes.
What was Ole Anderson like as a booker?
It was pretty tough, with situations and stuff. But other than that, he's a good guy to work with.
A lot of people said he was pretty hard, and
yeah.
it was, I don't know. People say he's an asshole and stuff. I'm not. That's what I heard. Memories of teaming with Terry Gordy.
It was great. Terry was a really good kid, and it was really fantastic to team up with him. We always got along good and always had fun in the ring and outside the ring,
Right. Now, you guys also had some great matches with Michael Hayes and Kevin Von Erich.
Oh, yes.
What are your memories of that stuff?
It's lovely. Sometimes you just look back at these old tapes and, you have good memories and good feelings about these guys,
And Ted DiBiase?
Oh, yes.
What are your memories and thoughts on Ted?
That's fantastic, too, brother. They're all great.
Tommy Rich?
Yes.
Now, I believe at the time you went over to work for All Japan. Baba. What was that like? What was that experience like going to? Was this your first time going to Japan?
Right. That was my first time when I first went to Japan. It was great because you get to see the different countries, and the different cultures, and I loved it. And every time I went there, it was like a vacation for me, and I loved it very much.
How hard was it changing from the American style to the Japanese style?
It was okay. You get to wrestle the Japanese, every time. It's American against the Japanese, so it was pretty hard, They're kind of stiff, they're hard, but that's the way it goes.
Right. Was the travel schedule harder in Japan than it was here? Or?
No, they treated us like kings over there.
You got to do the buses and stuff like that.
Yes. It was nice.
What were your initial thoughts of Japan when you first got there? What did you think?
I always love history, so every time when we go there, you go to places where history's been, created during, the olden days, the war times and everything, but I loved it, and the people were great there.
What are your memories of Giant Baba?
Oh, he was a good man, a very good man. He was a very good man. He was one, was one of a kind of a giant, a Japanese giant, and he was very good to us.
Memories of working with Jumbo Tsuruta?
Oh, fantastic. He's one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers there that ever came along.
Who's over in Japan, who was your favorite guy that you like to work with over there?
Jumbo Tsuruta was a good guy to work with.
And you had some great matches with Terry and Dory, the Funks.
Oh, yes.
What are your memories of some of those matches?
Them two brothers, they're the best. They're so much fun, and They always work hard, and I love that.
Bruiser Brody. What are your memories of Bruiser Brody?
He was my tag team partner. He was a good guy, big man, and all business, And if he didn't like something, he wouldn't do it. So
Right.
that's the way Bruiser is.
You also traveled with him as well, I believe, over there, right?
Yes.
Do you consider him a mentor at all, or was?
He was okay with me, brother. I mean, everybody's got their own thing, but he was a pretty nice guy to me. We got along well and everything.
What are your thoughts on Bruiser Brody's death?
Oh gosh, that's very sad. Very sad.
Why did both of you guys, you and Bruiser, jump over to Inoki? Why did you leave All Japan and go over to New Japan?
I guess it's business. It's all business.
How did that work out? How did that come about?
It came out okay for a couple of years, and then we had to move back again.
Right. What are the differences between All Japan and New Japan?
There's no difference, just the names,
Right.
The wrestling is the same,
Just different companies.
That's it.
What are your memories of Antonio Inoki? And what was he like? How would you compare him to Baba?
Well, there's a big difference between the two guys. When Inoki came in, Baba was, already there, so then I guess as it goes along, they finally went into a split up there. Inoki one side and Baba one side. So.
Right. How would you compare them as promoters?
I don't know. It worked out pretty good for me.
Right.
It worked out good. I got along good with them both.
Memories of working with Tatsumi Fujinami.
Tatsumi, he was a good guy. Very nice guy to work with. Work hard.